Got wheels you don't need? KAWC and Border Radio's car donation program takes more than just cars. We might take your trucks, RVs, buses, ATVs, motorcycles, maybe even that Humvee or dusty old tractor. Your donation supports local programming and clears out your garage. So learn more at kawc.org/cars.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Veronica Shore.
On today's program, we are going to be joined first by Myriah and Shannon from Yuma Heat. We're going to talk about the importance of teaching kids how to swim here in Yuma competitively. And I think it's important because it's hot in Yuma and that gives you something to do. It's a little cooler. We'll talk about that as well as hearing from Ron Van Y, who is running for Yuma City Council. We're going to find out why he wants to torture himself like that. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget that you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papagiorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter, and we've hijacked Veronica's voice. You still hear Veronica's voice on there. She's actually in Mexico right now, enjoying herself over there with her kids. If you know her on Instagram, you could check out some of those. She has some really cool pictures on there. So shout out to Veronica. But I'm co-hostless because she wanted to go over there and do that. And actually, she has some other stuff going on as well. Oh, and our sponsor, I want to mention something about our sponsor, High Tanks Brewing Company. We're going to have a special performance, and on Thursday, one of the performers that's going to be there on Saturday, Kelly Hughes, he's going to come in on Thursday, do a special performance live for us right here in the studio. I just got that word just a little bit ago, so that's going to be very cool. So shout out to Kelly Hughes and High Tanks Brewing Company. And with that, it's time to introduce our guests. We have Shannon and Myriah from Yuma Heat. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, get that mic really close to you, right? Like, yeah, super close. And so for everybody that's listening, I would like you guys to each introduce yourself and how you got involved with Yuma Heat. So we'll start with you, the shy one.
Yes, I don't like public speaking that much. But hello, I'm Myriah. I've been swimming since I've been 8 years old. I moved down here from Tennessee when I was 8, started learning how to swim with the city actually in their programs. And then my mom and dad found out I was decent and decided to join the Southern Arizona Sand Sharks here, which was a summer league, and realized that there was even more than that. So they ended up doing a year-round program for me, and then obviously created more people as we went on and became a competitive program, and it's been going ever since.
So hold on. So before we go any further,
Yeah.
so you're in there, you're swimming, they're part of the swimming lessons that the city would put on.
Yes.
Your parents look like, wait a minute. She's pretty good. She's like a fish in there, you know. It's like we have Olympic gold medalists possibly, and so they started to create something around that.
Yes. Yeah. So there was only a summer league. And then when they started looking on like USA Swimming, Arizona Swimming, finding out, oh, wow, there's a lot more. Like this goes all year round. Like people do short course, long course. And so they, found a coach and, kind of made it happen.
Okay. So they saw that there was other things. Not in Yuma, obviously, but around Arizona
around
and
the areas,
surrounding
yes.
areas. There's these other things. So then they started to figure out how to create that here. What was that like?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean,
I know you probably don't remember, but
I was
you're
little,
young.
right? I'm just going with the flow. I'm like, okay, cool.
But tell us the best of your knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, right? You got to, there's a list of Arizona Swimming how to create a team. You got to, get all your ducks in a row as far as, insurance, naming rights, all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, it took probably at least 6 months to get stuff lined up and then create a team. What I do remember is the kids got to pick the name, right? So we started, I think there was probably about 10 to 15 of us who came from that summer league and wanted to do more with swimming. And with that being said, we created the Yuma Heat. Like, we all voted on the name, we voted on the design, all of it. So it was kind of cool. Like, all the swimmers were involved, and it's still around. So it's amazing. And I went off to college, got a scholarship, swam in college, and came back. Was back for a little bit coaching for the Yuma Heat for like the summer, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then ended up getting recruited as a head age group coach in Arkansas. I coached for North North Arkansas, and learned a lot, went to a lot of clinics, learned as much as I could, and then ended up coming back because I thought my parents were going to stay. They ended up moving to Wyoming. They left me, and
So your parents aren't even here anymore?
no.
What?
No, yeah.
How dare they? If they're watching, how dare you guys? Yeah, she moved back for you.
Yes, I know. And, came back and ended up meeting our former president, which was Brock Amen. He was my OBGYN, and ended up getting back into the swimming scene, and ended up becoming head coach, and here I am today.
So your time in, you said Arkansas?
Yes.
So was that competitive as well?
Yes.
So competitive. So you're there, and you said there was a lot of like seminars. Did you learn quite a bit? And how?
Yeah. So I was there for almost 4 years. Worked under head coach Marcel, and he works currently in Maine now. He got recruited up there, but yeah, I learned a lot. I mean, we went to Texas, all over the place learning. I'm sure everybody knows Bob Bowman. We went to some seminars with him. Just learned tons. I mean, we had swimmers that were at the national, level. So you have junior.
So
national.
you're with, okay, so under you that you're coaching people on the
Yes.
national level?
Yes.
What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. You learn a lot. I mean, it's constantly learning and trying to help the athletes the best you can as you learn, right? So we're both learning together, but it was a great experience, and I took a lot from it. Now going into running my own team, it's like, okay, I want these things, but it's a process, right? I mean, they're nationally ranked. They're a great swim program, and then coming down to where, we're state level swimmers. So it's just it's working back up its way.
So would you know what makes a great swimmer then? Is it like certain techniques, or what do you tell them? I just kind of know, doing this thing. Like that's as best I could do.
Yeah, right. It's all about technique, but what makes I think, in my opinion, what makes a great swimmer is their passion. I think you got to be passionate about what you do, and you got to show up every day. Consistency is key, and so you have a lot of athletes that have great talent, but they don't show up.
So they have talent, and you're seeing this. You're the coach, and you're like, come on, just show up. Get in the water, guys.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop. Get off of TikTok and get in there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely different nowadays than it was. I mean, I grew up with an old school coach, so he was very strict. I had to be late to prom because we had practice. Okay.
Wow, that is strict.
I mean, nowadays you're like, hey, coach, I'm taking a week off for prom. Okay, I got to make sure I'm dialed in. Okay, so it's way different.
I could definitely see that with the youngsters these days. Yeah, absolutely. You could do that. So, okay, a little bit about you. Now we're going to move on to you, Shannon. And I heard you're afraid of the water. You've never even been in the water. We were talking off air that, but somehow you became the president or something. I don't know.
I'm not afraid of the water.
Okay,
I grew
okay.
up in New York on the beach, and
All
I
right.
was a lifeguard. Hey,
Okay,
I passed
maybe
my
I
lifeguard certification.
exaggerated a little bit, but
I could swim to survive, but I cannot swim like Myriah.
Oh,
How
okay,
about
okay,
that?
there we go.
Okay, yes. So Brock Amen, who was the former president, is my brother-in-law, and so my niece was a competitive swimmer, and she loved it, and she's actually swimming in college now, and he kind of voluntold me that when his kids were done swimming that I was going to, get to take his job. So didn't really have much choice there. Got voluntold, and I didn't know anything about competitive swimming, but I've learned a lot. I became a swim official through USA Swimming. I stand out on the pool deck, and now I can, judge their technique and do all those things.
So somebody that doesn't get in the water,
Yep.
you're out there judging
Yep.
them. That is incredible.
Right? It's no pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you're the president because you got voluntold.
Yep.
And you have kids that swim in
Yes,
Yuma
I
Heat
had
currently.
two that were there. One graduated, is in college. One
Okay.
is still swimming. He's a sophomore at COFA.
Okay. And so what is the role of a president?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Not sure. A lot of things.
No, we don't know. Yeah, just
but the
everything.
kitchen amazing.
Yeah.
So my biggest role, I would say, I mean, one is to support Myriah. That's
Okay.
like numero uno, right?
How's that going? Is it good? Is it easy?
She's-
Like she break down every once in a while? You got to like hold her.
It might be the other
kids
way
won't get off of
around.
TikTok and she's crying.
It might be the other way around. That
Okay.
I break down.
Oh, you break down. Wow.
No, she's the best. She's the best to work, easy to work with. She's amazing. Her heart is where it should be, right, with the kids. My biggest job outside of supporting Myriah is really interacting with the city of Yuma. So kind of coordinating like pool time and schedule, and we need help. And the Valley Aquatic Center just got renovated, so that's been a process. So I spend probably 98% of my time is really in communication with the city of Yuma.
Okay, with the city, and you have to schedule time. Is there a lot of swimming activities in here in Yuma?
There are a lot now. So I don't think there used to be when her parents started the Yuma Heat, but now there's 3 like local competitive teams.
So there's other competitive teams like Yuma Heat?
Yes. So we are the big one. We got a lot. Like we average probably somewhere from 130 to over 200 swimmers, depending on the time of the year.
And I believe, because I'm familiar with the name Yuma Heat, because I think that's where my buddy Kevin Tennille, his kids went. Do you guys know that name?
Well, that was pre my time.
That was a while back. Yeah.
Pre my time. But yes.
But yes, that is? Okay. Okay.
Yes, same one. So there's 3 competitive. We are the largest. The other 2 are a little bit smaller. And then but now every high school has a swim team. So things get a little complicated during so summer swim is a little busy, obviously, because the city has their programming, and so we have to coordinate around when the public comes to have access. But high school swim is probably even more challenging than the summer, with all the high schools having a swim team plus 3 competitive swim teams and 2 like regulation competition pools to divide up all those people. Like really looks like sardines in a can.
Yeah, so it gets pretty tough doing that and trying to figure that
tough.
out. Yeah, but you press on and you do it.
Press on, and they probably see my name coming in the emails. I apologize, City of Yuma. They're like, Shannon again.
No, there she is.
I mean, here I am, but nothing but persistent.
But so, okay, then do you have the kids that take part in both? Like they're on maybe a high school team and your team? Is that how? Okay.
For sure, yeah. So during the high school season, for the most part, they practice with their high school team, but they can still practice with their year-round team. It's just based on like percentages and hours. They have to have a certain number of hours with their high school team to be eligible to compete for AIA, but they can still train with their competitive team. So like, for example, Myriah does early morning swim for the most competitive swimmers. The high schoolers can come in at 5:30 in the morning, swim with her, and then still goes practice with their high school after school.
Okay. And so what is the goal for a competitive team? Is it to go out and just win competitions, or are you trying to raise like these future athletes, people maybe go to the Olympics one day, or is it a little bit of both?
I mean, I think the meat of any good swim team is not it's not the competitive, it's those kids, it's the younger kids that we're teaching how to learn how to swim, right?
And that's where I was going to get to. That was one of the things you were saying off air, is that you said maybe more than half are kids just learning how to swim.
Correct. So we're a competitive swim team, but at the heart of our program, it's Learn to Swim, and we're passionate about kids learning how to swim. Yuma, unfortunately, has a lot of drowning, and so we are super passionate. We start around age 3, teaching kids to learn how to swim, and a lot of times the kids, they love it, and they stay. And we also have competitive versus non-competitive options. So if kids want to swim just because they like it, but they don't want to go to swim meets, totally fine. They just have a different schedule, and their training is not quite as intense as the kids that want to become competitive.
Yeah, so I remember that back in my day, it was like there's like a Superman float or something. They would teach us these things, and like, so I'll bring it up in the next segment, what I was going to go to. But so you teaching these kids just basic how to like tread water type of stuff, how to just do a backstroke.
They start basic, but then they go into teaching them. Those little guys start learning how to do freestyle, how to do backstroke. Like they get there. She can explain.
What's the basic that you teach somebody?
So
besides don't drown, good luck,
Yeah. Well, we start with three and up right now, because that's usually we do them in group settings. We do privates, which is one-on-one, so it's a little different. But like my little kid, my 6-year-old's in the Learn to Swim program. I mean, to be honest, he had ear tubes when he was little, and so he never wanted to put his head under the water. And as a swim coach, like, that's kind of embarrassing. My kid don't know how to swim, Like, we need to get him in, So He started. Now he's going underwater. He's diving for rings. He's floating. He started doing his arm strokes, backstroke. He's floating too, just his hips sink just a little bit. So we're still working on that. But I mean, it's pretty amazing to see the progress he's made in just a couple months. I'm really proud of him, and I know like in the next month, I mean, he's going to be swimming on his own. So they build up a relationship with these kids, you know, because we don't want them fearful of the water, but we want them to know, you know, hey, it is dangerous, you know.
Yeah, you have to have a level of respect for it,
Exactly.
right? You have to this level of respect, but you don't want to fear it, right? Because I'm just, you know, in my mind, you fall in and you have this fear, then you just panic, and that doesn't work, right? That's like probably the worst thing you want to do when you get in. So you're just kind of teaching them those things at the beginning stages.
They definitely go at their own pace. We don't rush any kid. Sometimes we've had kids, you know, that need their parent in the water, so they get in with them. We want them to feel as comfortable as possible because that's where they're going to learn the most.
So have you had any like really difficult cases of getting kids in?
Yes, I mean, we've had kids that run away.
They run
away.
Oh, we lost another one, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when that happens, we say, okay, how about you just watch? You know, we watch the first week. And so they watch. And then eventually, you know, they put a foot in. And, you know, it just kind of gradually gets better. And we have coaches that are very patient and kind.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So they know, and we just work with each family the best we can.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of it, we're going to talk about some of the facilities that you guys use. I know Kennedy Pool is a big topic right now. We're going to talk a little bit about that and more right after this quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
KOFA Border Radio doesn't sound like any other radio station in Yuma. We are a non-commercial source for music from around the world, across the decades and local artists. Our hosts are volunteers. If you would like to get involved, send an email to music@borderradioaz.org.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero. I'm Melanie Ruiz Lopez.
And I'm Sajay Bárcenas. In this new episode, we'll be talking about first-generation students.
I am proud of being a first-generation student.
I'm representing my family name quite well in doing this.
Being a first-generation college student myself, I struggled a lot because I didn't ask for help.
A new energy with the same mission.
To give students a voice.
You're tuned to 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio. I'm Juan Garcia from the KWC Newsroom. The weather forecast for Yuma today is partly sunny, then gradually becoming sunny with the high near 73, breezy with the south wind around 5 to 15 miles per hour, mostly clear tonight with a low around 47. U.S. Senator Ruben Gallego has scheduled a town hall in San Luis on Thursday, February 19. For more information, visit kawc.org/news. Stay tuned to 94.7 FM.
If Border Radio were a commercial station, we'd probably play something other than the music you hear now, and, of course, play commercials. But you probably listen to Border Radio because we're not that. We're non-commercial community radio. But the only way we can do this is when you choose to support it. Visit borderradioaz.org/donate to give today.
Hey, I'm Jay with Mixtape, a radio show all about sharing music, bringing you songs from the days of cassette tapes and before the time of online. This week's episode of Mixtape, Pump Up the Volume, songs from soundtracks. We're going to dive into soundtracks to find the songs we heard on the big screen. Some you just love and some maybe haven't heard of. So pop some popcorn, crack open a beverage, grab your favorite movie munchie, and listen to some of the great movie moments. We'll hear movie themes from Duran Duran, Yellow, and Oingo Boingo. Join me Thursday at 7 p.m. on KOFA Border Radio or on the KOFA app.
Run by music lovers like yourselves, KOFA Border Radio has what you need. A non-commercial home filled with music heard from all over the world. Tune in at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM on the KOFA app or at borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with Myriah and Shannon from Yuma Heat, and I just got voluntold to be a DJ and announcer at some of their events coming up, so that's going to be cool. I think that's how you guys work, right? You just kind of get voluntold to do stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, you had to move all the way back over here, and your parents are like, see you later. Like, as soon as you're pulling up, they're like packing the bags in the car. They're like, we're out of here.
Everybody's volunteers at a swim meet except the coaches, just so you know.
Oh,
the
okay.
officials, we don't get paid. Nobody gets paid. It's all volunteers.
Yeah. So one of the things that you mentioned, we'll talk briefly about it, is resources. Having some place to have your meets and just practice, right? And so is there a pathway forward? Because I know Kennedy Pool is a hot topic. I was a big part of trying to save it for some time. If you go back, I was on KYMA. I did a bunch of stuff. We got signatures. It's a pretty difficult process, but you guys are in need of something. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say from November through May right now with the current pool space at the Valley Aquatic Center and Marcus, I'd say we're okay between November and
there's
May.
a time frame that you guys are okay.
Different times of the year is different activity levels at the pools, right? So November to May right now for the 3 year-round competitive swim teams to use the Valley Aquatic Center and Marcus Pool, we're good. We have space. The challenge comes in the summer. It gets a little harder, right? Because obviously the summer you want it open to the public so they can swim, so they can do all their activities. The city does swim lessons, we do swim lessons, right? All of that. So it gets congested in the summer. We have to adjust our practices. Most of the time, our kids end up having to practice super early in the morning. So that's a little bit of a challenge. But the biggest challenge comes during the high school season, which starts like early August until the end of October. And you have all of the high schools, all the big high schools have swim teams. And then you still have the 3 competitive year-round teams that have to condense into essentially 2 pools. So it's like a game of chess, trying to move people around. The city did open up Carver to help a little bit, and Carver helps in terms of, it has like 4 or 5 lanes, which is fine, but the downside of Carver for somebody who's doing competitive swim for high school or year-round, there's no starting blocks, it's very shallow, you can't work on your dives. If you do butterfly in the far lane, like you're gonna hit a ladder on the side, things like that. So it's good for like maybe the little ones learning how to swim. Carver's fine, and we appreciate the city opening that up during that season. But even with that, like if you came to the Valley Aquatic Center and saw the practices of like all the I walked in one day and I was like, I don't even know what to say. It was like the lanes it was like sardines in a can. Like there were, I don't know how many kids in every lane. And so I try to help the city, and it's not just for our team. I try to say, look at the numbers of the high school teams. Look at the numbers of the year-round competitive teams. Let's just do simple math, right? How many kids do they have? You can put 5 in a lane. Let's do the math. Let's divide it out. Let's make it equitable. So I'm happy to help everybody, not just our team. But that particular timeline is very, very challenging with 2 competitive pools.
Yeah, and so like I'll play the devil's advocate on it because I've learned a lot when trying to save Kennedy Pool and trying to do that. But it's keeping it all year round or just in the summer when there's not practice, right? What do you do with the facility that's there constantly and you have to staff or whatever and to be able to make at least, I don't know, break even with making money, right?
I don't know if you're ever going to break even with swim or any other kind of like local sports that are city sponsored, but I would say that for example, let's use Kennedy Pool, right? If Kennedy were to open again and be renovated, we don't need Kennedy Pool to be open all year long, right? So they don't have to pay for heating of the water, things like that. We would just need it open from June 1st until October 31st for summer. And so that way kids in the community can get more swim lessons. Kids that live by Kennedy can walk there and have a safe activity to do. It's hot here, obviously, so that's helpful. But if you could just have another facilities, for example, if they opened Kennedy from June 1st to October 31st and then shut it down, close it up, don't pay to heat it in the winter, then that would solve huge challenges for all the swim teams here.
And money-wise, I mean, just programming in itself, I mean, we can do so much more than what we have. I mean, we have triathletes here. I run a master's program. I mean, I have at least 4 triathletes that couldn't barely get across the pool. They now know how to get across. They constantly tell me, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, there's a high demand of a lot of different things we have that we could do with the pool facility that is not utilized now. And I think that's our goal in itself. I mean, just at least when I've opened, came onto the program, we just had a competitive swim team. Like that was it. We didn't have masters. We didn't have a learn to swim program. We didn't have a dive team. I mean, we've grown in a lot of aspects, and I mean, my goal is I want to keep growing. I want to give as much as I can to this community and to our kids to keep them, learning good habits, dedication, hard work, and what you need to be a good citizen.
So one of the things I heard was it's not competitive length or something. It's not the correct
it needs
length.
to be 50 meters. It's, don't quote me on it, but I want to say it's 2 to 4 inches shy.
Okay. So what does that mean to you in actuality that it's not the correct length?
Yeah, I mean, it means that our kids don't have an opportunity. I mean, at least most of our competitive kids don't have the opportunity to compete with Phoenix. I mean, we do the best we can, but truly, to be honest, they see a long course pool when they arrive at the meet, and that's not okay. I mean, these kids are working 2 times a day, 5 days a week, and then Saturday 2-hour practices as well. I mean, 6 days a week, these kids are busting their butt, with school, everything they have going on to get to those levels. And we have kids, we have a winter junior national swimmer. I mean, the next step is Olympic trials. I mean, so we have kids, we have the talent here. We just don't have the facility.
Yeah. So then the saving Kennedy Pool then would be, is it just kind of opening it back up, or is it redoing it to make it competitive? Like there's 2 different ways to go, right?
Yep.
So what are you guys looking at?
I mean, ideally, if we have to break everything down, let's make it 4 inches longer, right? But if that's not possible, then, that's fine too. We can still, 4 inches shy, okay, not a big deal, right? At least that's way better than just swimming 25 yards all the time.
Yeah. So then you would, I guess, would settle for that, or like there's something.
Yeah,
it's closer. It's
closer.
Right? I mean, but if you think about a kid, the pools that we have here, Marcus and the VAC, are 25 yards, right? And for most of our swim season, that works, right? Because in swimming, if you guys don't know, there's short course, which is most of the year, but then long course is during the summer. So during the summer months, we cannot host any meets here. So we're the only competitive team that hosts meets here. We have teams that travel here from Colorado, Tucson, Phoenix, other parts of Arizona. We have teams that come here, and but we can't host any meets in the summer. So when those teams come here during our short course season, that brings revenue to the city of Yuma, right? They're staying in the hotels, they're eating in our restaurants. But in the summer months, our families have to pay to travel to Phoenix for every long course meet, which is a 50-meter Olympic-sized pool, because Yuma doesn't have one. But if Kennedy opened up the way it is now, again, they could still use it to train. It's a little shy of what it needs to be, but it's better than them training in 25 yards to then compete 50 meters.
And so is that, you said it's not a big deal, but having that, what you said, 2 to 4 inches?
It's a very small, and the VAC too. So the VAC is also shy. Like
that's.
The VAC was also, I think at that point they did not bring in any competitive swim teams to talk about the design of the VAC.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I would encourage the city that when you do consider Kennedy or something, bring us in, the experts in that understand that, because if you can make it 50 meters, then you have the opportunity to bring revenue to the city all year long.
Because then you're hosting the meets, right? Then you and then obviously hotels, people spending money at restaurants, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How big are these meets sometimes?
Well, I can give you an estimate. Just this past weekend, it was a last chance meet, which all these teams are trying to get their kids in, right, to get these regional state cuts. I mean, they had 1,100 swimmers
in Phoenix.
If you just do the total of just meet entry fees.
But that's just the swimmers?
Yes.
That's just the swimmers. So think about all the hotel rooms.
Yeah, so then the family, the parents.
Not all that, yeah.
Not
the coaches, not all that. And if you were just to take their meet entry fees alone, which average about $100 to $150, that's $165,000 just in meet fees. I mean, God, we've never seen that, and so the money's there.
What's the likelihood of them coming to Yuma for it? Is it that
people do come?
Okay, but so they come during that, but then you're saying in the summer months they can't because we don't have it.
And I think it's facility. If we put on if we vamp that up and make it a great facility, people are going to come because we lack that in Arizona, already, not just Yuma, in Arizona. And
really? There's a lack in Arizona?
Yes. Big time.
Nice facility, right? So Arizona Swimming, who runs, they're under USA Swimming. They run all the teams in the state, all the competitive teams. They ask us every year because they've had feedback from parents of how well of a meet that we run here in Yuma, our team, that they ask us every year to host that all-star meet. Yeah. So it's from California and Arizona because it's, in between San Diego, right? Here's Yuma.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we have families, they love coming here. We have people coming down from Flagstaff. They're like, we will drive here because you host the best meets. And so, but this year, unfortunately, we couldn't do it because the Valley Aquatic Center was under construction. But hopefully next year, they'll ask us again. But parents call Arizona Swimming and say, man, the Yuma Heat, they host a great meet. We need to have some more meets there, right? And so the VAC is a great facility, and we can have, but I don't think we can have 1,100 swimmers fitting into the VAC, right?
No.
It's not quite big enough for that, but we do get a good participation. But if, you redid Kennedy and made more bleachers and made it a huge pool, then we could.
So if it was kind of completely revamped and those things. So has somebody presented that part to the city about saying, okay, look, this is how much we can bring in, and then obviously there's the hospitality tax that goes back, right? Anytime somebody's at a hotel or whatever, that actually helps the city. So has somebody presented that to the city? Oh, you did?
We bring that up all the time, that, there are 3 competitive swim teams, and not every competitive swim team has to host a meet, right?
Well, I know, but
we host them.
I'll just say, bringing it up versus, actually, pen to paper numbers and showing, the potential revenue that could be made. Is that something?
So before my time, the previous board president, the Yuma Heat paid for a feasibility study that they provided, and it costs a pretty penny, and they gave it to the city and used and showed, and it was a complete design of what you could do to make that like a world-class aquatic facility.
Oh, okay. So there's a design, there's this, and then, but so what I'm saying, I'm a businessman as well. So it's I got to, if I'm going to invest in something, I got to figure out how I'm going to make money back, right? Now, then I think, okay, well, how do I get people on my side if I want to make money, right? So then if you're saying you can bring in these thousands of people, right, just the swimmers, and then they're going to be out at Lutz Casino or the Pint House or whatever restaurant, Curtines, and then they're going to be at hotels. Once you start getting those people on your side, right? That to me makes sense, right? It's there's going to be putting more money in our pockets, and that's going to put money into the hosts, the servers, right? And then it goes back, and that's what makes a good community, right? Okay.
Yeah, at this point, I'd say we get maybe 50 kids, swimmers that'll come from out of town right now, 50-ish.
Oh, how many to come out of town for when you host it?
On average, how many are coming from outside?
Yeah, we have at least 100. Yeah, 100.
Okay, so about
do the math there, right? Hotel rooms, food. So already we're doing that, but the facility, the VAC is a beautiful facility, and people like to come there, but. We can't host anything there in the summer.
You can't do anything in the summer.
In the summer,
okay.
Also the benefit of having another pool, like a long course in Arizona, is that season is very short, and so the number of meets available for kids to kind of get their qualifying times is limited. So if we were another opportunity here, then it's Yuma has a meet. Let's go to Yuma because we can get our time. Our kids can try to get their times, right?
Yeah.
So it's giving another opportunity for the whole state. And when kids need to get their times, those parents will drive to wherever they need to drive, right?
Well, yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense to me when you're saying that. They'll go anywhere. And especially if there's a lack inside of Arizona, then you could be known as the place to be. And Yuma I built a whole production company off of Yuma being, so far from Phoenix, 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours from San Diego, about 4 something from Tucson, 4 something to Vegas. And I would route shows through here as people would come because they would go and get gas at the, and I'm like, hey, why don't you stop here and perform at this coffee shop? At least you make some money. So I built a whole thing on us being that kind of center, that hub. That makes sense to me if you could be that hub for this, if there's a lack and there's future, right? But you have to get somebody to buy into your dream to be able to present something like that and to show numbers and investors, right?
Yeah.
So, but we do got to go, but let everybody know if they want to be, if the kid just wants to get swim lessons or be competitive, how do they get a hold of you and find out more information?
Yeah, we have a website. It's yumaheat.org. You can go in. You can look on there. My phone number, too. Should I say that? No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah,
phone number is 928-446-1362. You can text and call. I'm Coach Myriah. I'd be happy to help you as well.
Very cool.
It's heatswimteam.org. I think I think it changed. I don't know.
Okay.
You can find us. Just search,
Google
Yuma Heat. It'll come up.
Yeah, and so one thing, so Kennedy Pool special, and I would bring it up. That's where I made my TV debut. It's at Kennedy Pool when I was a kid doing swim lessons.
No way.
Yeah, back when I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 years old or something. And my parents had that, like, back in the day. If kids wouldn't know what VHS is, no, it was actually on the news. It was like KYMA was out there, the news, and they did a whole thing. And that's where I made my TV debut, and that's where Star was born, right there at Kennedy Pool. So if you guys could save it, that'd be great. But I like cooperative, communication, and everybody work together as a team.
Amen to that.
All right. And with that, we are going to take a break, and we'll be back with Ron Van Wy. He is running for city council, so he could probably help with this if he wins. But I know right now he has to get signatures, so we're going to talk about that and why he wants to torture himself on city council. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Tuned in to Border Radio KOFA. We are your local public radio station that celebrates the power of music to bring people together. You can see our playlists, listen to our live stream, and listen to past programs on demand on the KOFA app. Find it at your favorite app store.
For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer, Education Solutions reporter. The Arizona Western College Foundation has announced that its scholarship cycle has officially begun. Scholarships are available for students of all majors, backgrounds, and grade point averages. AWC Matadors can apply for them with just one general application to qualify for any applicable scholarships. On top of that, some scholarships may require a written essay, but the AWC Student Success Center offers free writing help to support students. Interested folks can reach out for in-person or online help. One tip from the foundation: bring your personality to the application, not just your grades. Many scholarships value knowing applicants' unique stories. To find additional tips or begin the process, visit foundation.azwestern.edu/scholarships. Current and incoming students are encouraged to apply now through April 1st. For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. And as a quick note, AWC is indeed our license holder.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by the 2 Welton locations of High Tanks Brewing Company, its craft brewery and tap room, featuring scratch-made food and handcrafted beers, including Daphne's Date Ale and the Gila Hazy IPA. Also, live music and experiences such as farm tours and glamping are available. More at hightanks.com.
Welcome to KAWC's The Hotspot.
I'm Chloe Michael.
And I'm Maya Manry. This week, in honor of Cupid's Day, we explore love in Yuma. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the anti.
From drag to music to burlesque, and I wanted to bring that to Yuma. I thought it'd be something special.
The show is available as a podcast or online at kawc.org under the shows tab.
Bringing the heat to Yuma and La Paz, it's The Hotspot.
There is so much advice about decluttering, like the Marie Kondo method, where you ask yourself, does this item spark joy? Well, donating a vehicle that you don't need anymore to KAWC and Border Radio is an easy way to help us bring you the programs that bring you joy. And it's a great way to declutter. Learn more at kawc.org/cars.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
I use KAWC almost on a daily basis in my car. It's the background for chores around my house. And I go to the website and look for stories that are of interest, and I listen to podcasts. I look to the news on NPR because I'm looking for something beyond the headline or a soundbite or a gotcha moment. I really want news that shows me sort of the multiple dimensions of a story, that seeks information from multiple sources and doesn't tell me how to think. It just presents the issues, and I really appreciate that. Being a sustaining member of a service like KAWC takes the mystery out of it for me. So I know that I am supporting every month. I also know that I don't have to remember to sit down and write a check at the end of the year or a budget for a check at the end of the year, right? It's kind of coming out of my account every month, and that makes me feel a little bit like I'm part of the team. I'm Lori Stoff from Arizona Western College, and I'm a proud supporter of KAWC Yuma.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by Ron Van Wy, and the question is why? Yes, and I tease always kind of say like you want to torture yourself and run for city council. I've been around it for quite some time. My first business partner was on city council. He was a deputy mayor for a time, so I kind of been around it, and I know they get beat up, so that's why I kind of tease about that. But you said throw me in the ring, coach. I want to do this. So if you can, kind of introduce yourself and let people know just a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. My name is Ronald Van Wy. I've been in Yuma for 53 years. I was born in Ajo, Arizona, and I'm a proud member of the Tohono Nation, Indian. I want to be the first Native American to go on to city council. And I have 35 years in local law enforcement, U.S. Customs Service, Cocopah Tribal Police, and Yuma County Sheriff's Department. But also along with that time, I was also an adjunct professor here at AWC.
Oh, would you teach law enforcement?
I taught law and CTE for Tika. Yeah, I was her OSHA guy.
Okay.
And so up until 2023, when I decided my current employer had me going around to other places, and so unfortunately I could no longer be a professor because it took me out of town quite a bit.
Gotcha.
So. But yeah, that, and you asked about why I want to do this, because you are correct. People have already started trying to beat people up,
Yeah.
And but I'm that guy. I want to be that guy that beat me up for the right reasons. I think it's important that I don't really truly feel that the constituents are getting the information that they need. It's not trickling down. I think it's very important that folks in Yuma know what their taxpayers' money is being spent on. And there again, it's not their money. It's not the city's money. It is, but
yeah, absolutely. Anybody, city council, they work for me, right? People in the city, they work for me because I'm a taxpayer, right? Now, that doesn't mean I get to treat them any type of certain way, right? Like I get to be disrespectful or abusive or anything, but that's just the way government works. The government works for you. I'm a very libertarian at heart. So, but yeah, absolutely. You work for that. You're a public servant, especially, right? And then if you actually just even work for the city, you're paid by our tax dollars.
Right. That's correct. And like our Constitution says, we the people. We're here for the people. The government is for the people, for order, for protection, for doing what's right, bringing things into Yuma, what's important, And there's a lot of things. I have a lot of background. In my current position, I'm actually a safety director, but I also am very heavily involved. Well, I'm heavily involved in a lot of things if you look at me. But we, I'm public works. I have a huge background in public works, infrastructure, roadway designs, things of that nature, emergency management, police and fire services. So I continue with that in my life, and I think it's important that folks realize that Yuma, unfortunately, has not kept up with the times. Things have.
What does that mean to you? When you say that?
Well, first off, when I came here, Avenue B was still an orchard and a cotton field. 16th Street stopped at Avenue B and at Pacific Avenue. And look at how much our footprint has grown. The Yuma footprint since 1980 has grown 10 times. And the population has grown 3 to 4 times. And so what had happened was the city of Yuma had a spending cap, if you will. But that was designed in 1980.
Okay.
And it was accelerated through the years to where we're at today. But what has happened is that the cap, the inflation outbeat the cap.
Okay.
And so that's the problem, is that the city can only spend so much or they don't get their subsidies. And so we're trying to, I think that we need to get that.
It needs to be looked at,
yes.
at least.
Yeah. And so that's one thing that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is going to come up for a vote here soon, type of deal. So that's one way that's going to be coming forward. But one of the biggest challenges that we find here is the roadways. Our roads are pretty bad. And that's because they were designed for residential and city traffic. They weren't designed for the traffic that we get. Phoenix has the 303 and the 101. We have 16th Street, 24th Street, and 32nd Street.
Yes, yeah.
Those are our freeways.
Yeah, that's it.
And so they're getting worn out. The maintenance is not there. They're not maintaining them. Maintaining things is very important. You need to maintain them, and that way you don't have to worry about totally resurfacing or refacing and doing it over. No, we maintain it throughout the life cycle. It will prolong the life cycle.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned the different streets that we have and avenues. Now, is there like a bigger solution that's possible to be able to work that besides just maintaining?
Well, we need to figure out how we can get other areas, kind of like a bypass, if you will. Because if you think about it, if you got to go from one side of the town to the other county, Yuma's grown. We're out to 10E now, and we're out to Avenue D now on the west side. Mm-hmm. But you have to go through those major thoroughfares to get there. Yeah. So can we do a bypass? Can we do a freeway off ramp here or off there? I don't have that answer for that, because I do know that a lot of that is going to also depend on ADOT. Yeah. Because they have to do that.
Cooperations.
Right. But I think it's important that we as a community, that we do reach out to get those joint ventures. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with if there's a huge age gap between my age and the next generation of people that are qualified. And we're finding out that the old-timers like me that are leaving, we're taking a lot of knowledge with us in the areas of our expertise, and it's not being passed along. I think that we need to do that. The trades in Yuma, working for construction, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. I don't believe that we are truly pushing the future generation to take those places, because we're in the gaming industry, we're in the electronic industry, and we need to try to bring coalitions and, again, joint ventures, venturing out even with the AWC, saying, hey, what can the city and AWC do to bring in that type of infrastructure?
Well, and I'm sure there's stuff like that's happening already, right? There's different things that they're doing, but you would try to highlight that, and that would be part of what you would do on City Council to help bridge maybe some of the gaps that are there.
Yes, that's correct, and you are correct. They AWC and the city has joined in a lot of things, but I think when I go out and I talk to the people that are signing my petition for me, I ask them what's important for them, and a lot of that is the fact that they don't really have the knowledge that those certain things are out there for them. Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of just publicizing what they're doing. Again, I go back to what I talked about in the beginning, getting the information down to the constituents. Everybody, I want to know. Mm-hmm. People want to know. And so that's very important that they publicize where we're going, what we're doing, and it also benefits the city because we have a good council. They're doing very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's one thing that I've always said. People were like, what makes you important? I said, it's not that I'm important. It's that I bring a different mindset. I bring a different skill set. And I'm not saying that I can do things any better than anybody else, but I can do it different. Mm-hmm. And I bring a different past from than other people do. Not many people can say that they've had several different career paths in their lives. And like I said, I have the infrastructure, roadways, I have law enforcement, I have agriculture, I have education. I bring a lot of different things to the table.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and I want to talk a little bit about your past law enforcement and some of those things that maybe help qualify you. Like you said, you're bringing some of that into this city council race, so I want to highlight some of that, and then we're going to talk about getting signatures and how fun that is. We're going to do that after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
This is Border Radio, KOFA, your passport to your global destination for music. We are your local public broadcasting station that can be heard through your radio at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, and at borderradioaz.org.
Today's day sponsor is Alice Ferris, celebrating Chinese New Year. It's the start of a new lunar year, the year of the horse, a time for red envelopes, fireworks, lucky food, and a moment to welcome in good fortune. May your year be prosperous and your fortune cookies be unusually accurate. Gong Xi Fa Sai.
This is folk singer Michael Jonathan. It's a very special Wood Songs with Grammy-winning member of the Blues Hall of Fame, B.B. King Entertainer of the Year, and one of America's blues icons. It's Bobby Rush for the whole hour.
Have you ever been mistreated by someone you showed enough love?
All on this week's broadcast of the Wood Songs, Old Time Radio.
This evening at 7 p.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
Breezy in Yuma today and partly sunny with a high near 73. Mostly clear tonight with low around 47. In Prescott, chance of rain and snow showers with a high near 46 and gusts as high as 32 miles per hour. Increasing clouds tonight with low around 37. Sunny in Kingman with a high near 53. Gusts as high as 34 miles per hour. Increasing clouds this evening with a low around 36. And snow showers likely in Flagstaff with a high near 36 and gusts as high as 39 miles per hour. Cloudy tonight with low around 32.
Tom Hacksaw Colson had a 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid that lived a previous life working in photo radar. After using it for years car camping, Tom's car died right outside of Parker. Rather than tow it, Tom donated the car to Border Radio. If you'd like to donate your vehicle, running or not, visit borderradioaz.org/cars.
Turn on Border Radio KOFA 94.7 FM and cross musical borders every day. From new indie discoveries to timeless classics, listener-supported Border Radio brings you music you won't hear anywhere else. Live, local, and online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with Ronald Van Wy, and we left off talking a little bit about your past law enforcement. Were you with YPD? Is that?
No, I was with the United States Customs Service before it became Homeland Security.
Oh, okay. So that's your law enforcement. Okay.
Yeah, that, and I'm actually I have a certificate that says I'm a founding member of Homeland Security, CBP. So it's kind of neat.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also worked for the Kokopah Tribal Indian Nation for many, many years, and I retired as a captain from there.
Okay,
and
so
then,
what do you think about, or how would you voice your experience with law enforcement that will help you going into becoming a city council member?
One of the biggest things is that when I was with the Customs Service, I was the K-9 branch chief, so I had a $34 million budget. It was obviously responsible.
So budget. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I was hugely involved with my budget, and of course, it had to reconcile at the end of the year every year, you know, and so that was important for me. Plus, my wife's an accountant too, so that helps.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
But yeah, that and just the leadership skills that I bring. You know, one thing that I'm very passionate about is that I don't like to lead from the front per se. I like to lead horizontally, which means that I want people to come with me. I want them to walk with me. Don't follow me. Come with me. Let's do this together. That's important for me.
Yeah, and you learned part of that in your time as law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So, and we also talked a little bit off air. So, how many seats are open right now, or going to be open?
Right now, there are 3. We have one incumbent. Carol's the incumbent. Yeah, and then there's another 4 that are running on top of that.
Okay, so we have 3 seats open.
Yes,
and there's 4 people running.
Actually, 5 total from what I. Yeah, there's
5 people running.
Yeah,
somebody just joined or something.
Yes.
Okay, and so right now, each of you are out getting signatures.
Correct.
So, what has that been like for you so far?
It's been a little difficult. It's not that people aren't signing for me. It's the fact that a lot of my friends and family and coworkers, they all live in the county.
Yeah. So I volunteered to help Carol get some signatures, and it's been a painful experience because a lot of people live in the county. So I go to them. It's like, hey, you come on, you live here. And I think you even asked somebody out here. It's like, hey, you live like, nope, I live in the county. Live in the county. Live in the county. And I think it's like 1,000 signatures or something.
998. So
yeah, about 1,000.
Yep.
And yeah, everybody I'm talking to lives in the county for some reason.
Right.
So that must be a little frustrating. But you're persevering. How are you doing it?
It just by the grace of God, to be honest with you, you know, it's been tough, but I've had some friends that have come up that I didn't even realize wanted to support me. It's been a godsend. You know, a lot of people have really come up and said, hey, I want to help you, I want to support you, and you know, going around knocking on doors and just explaining to folks that, hey, you can sign 3 of these petitions. Help me let me be one of those petitions, you know, and so let the people decide from there. Just help me get on the ballot, and we can go from there. And I do want to encourage people to sign it, the 3 that they can sign, you know, and I have no problem helping even the other candidates, because that's what it's about. It's teamwork no matter what, because no matter what, there's going to be 3 of us.
Yeah, there's going to be 3 of you, and then teamwork is a big part of being on city council. You got to work together as a team, or if you're the obstinate one that's kind of just causing problems, and then you're just going to be known as that guy, right?
Right.
So why not start off on a good foot within teamwork?
I agree 100%. And everything that I've done in my life has been devoted to teamwork, you know, and so I'm a very, very much a team player, and you know, it's just a matter of listening to people. I may not agree with their thought process, but if you talk about it, maybe they change my mind, maybe I change theirs, you know. But like you said, at the end of the day, it is 100% about being a part of a team.
So then, are you going door to door? Are you doing old school stuff? Because I know there's also electronic now you could do as well, right?
Yes, I've been blessed to have a little over 200 now electronically. and door-to-door, 100% door-to-door. I've got several folks that we've been doing door-to-door. We were fortunate enough to, at the parade this weekend, we got a total of 90 on Saturday. We got like 40 or so at the parade. Richard Sprague's allowed me to set up in front of his shop, and so I got another 40 or 50 there, and so it was a very good day, and it's nice to see that people in the community are stepping up to say, hey, if you want to come here, come speak there. I've got 4 invitations in the last week to come and speak to their organization, so I'm going to be doing that 2 this week and then 2 next week.
So you mentioned speaking, but have you done any forums yet or debates?
We did do one that was set up at the VFW. We all went there and were able to give our spiel, if you will, give our a couple minutes of who we are, what we're doing, and then we allowed a question and answer.
What was that like for you to kind of be in the hot seat of sorts, to be able to answer these questions? Because I've seen it in time or two. And right, so the public has a certain thing they want answers, like you said. Where's the money going? But when you're on the forum, you're not on city council yet. You don't have all the answers. So how do you kind of navigate that?
Research, do your homework, be prepared before you go. And like you said, put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'm the guy that wants to be in the bottom of the 9th, 2-2 with bases loaded, and you're losing by 1. You know, that's the kind of guy I am. Throw me in the fire. I'm ready to rock and roll. And it does matter that you're prepared. It does matter that you do your homework. If you're going to run for a position such as this, you better be informed. And I've been trying to do that, interviewing people and just getting out in the community, asking what's important to them, what I could do for them if I get on. Now, there again, like I said, if I do get on, I'm one of 7. I can't move mountains. But, maybe I can move a molehill. And that's what I want to do. I want to be the voice for the folks that don't have that voice or are afraid to step forward. Let me do that for us, because at the end of the day, Yuma is what matters.
Absolutely. And I've been good friends with Art Morales, City Council, and he's just been an absolute jewel. I love that guy to death. And, anything that if somebody comes to me because they hear me on the radio, they see stuff, they bring me an issue, I immediately get on the phone with Art, and Art will do his best. And he's never, not once, turned down anything ever, that any phone call, anything you'd want to find out. So you want to be somebody like that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to be accessible. I do answer my emails. I do answer my phone calls, because I've had many employees at one time, and I've lived with the auspice that if somebody calls you, texts you, or emails you, it's important to them. So it's important that you at least acknowledge that you received that, and then do the homework if you don't know the answer. And I've been around places where like Mark Martinez, he's a council member, currently council member, and we were together at one place where somebody came up to him and started talking to him about certain things, and he took notes. And then one day we were talking, and he goes, "Oh, hey, I got to go back and see so and so over here because I got the answers that he wanted." And that was powerful for me. The fact that even the little things matter, and it does matter. And I want to be that person that people can turn to. Again, I'll say I cannot make miracles, but I definitely want to be the person that people can count on to say, "Hey, can you bring this at least for us? Can you mention this?" And I want to do that.
So how'd you do at the forum?
I was told that I took the show. But
really? Wow. Okay.
I don't look at it that way, but I did have a lot of people that texted me, called me, Facebooked me, and said, you really did well. And I appreciated that, because at the end of the day, you can only do as good as you can do.
Well, it sounds like, then if you prepared, like you said, then that's how you do good at anything, is by preparing. Right. I should definitely probably start to prepare for the show. Maybe I'll do better. But yeah, no, that's what you do. You prepare, and then you're able to go in there and answer those questions to the best of your knowledge.
Right. And I think one thing that was good for me is the passion that I have for what I do. My father taught me, if you're going to go into it, you're going to go 100% or don't go at all. You're going to finish that race or don't start. And one thing that was important to me was, as far as my round background and my knowledge, skills, and abilities, my father taught me one thing, and he said, everybody can be replaced. You're just a number. You can be replaced tomorrow. He goes, but if you learn everybody else's job, they'll be replaced before you.
Yeah, that is so true. That's actually what I learned when I first started at the radio station years and years ago. Somebody told me that. Shout out to Greg Cobb too over there. He said, learn everything. go over there. So when the engineer would come into town, I would go follow the engineer. Shout out to Aaron. I would follow everybody, learn a little bit about everybody. So I stay there. Now, okay, I'm not at that position anymore, but I'm here today, right here at this studio, because it's able to take something I could take with me by learning all this. And you build value. Right. You build value, and that's what people want. We want people with value around. Right. Yeah, so but we're going to be wrapping up here. If you want a last little pitch, and then find out where people can find out where to find more information about your campaign.
Thank you. You can go on to Facebook under Ron Van Wy, or you can go onto my website, which is rvw4yuma.com. And one thing that I really want to emphasize is that Yuma, this is our walk together. Come with me. Let's make this journey. Let's do it together.
All right. And so on the website, it has more about your campaign and stuff?
Yes,
and
it has about my campaign. It has a little bit about me, even a little bit about some bad times in my life. You know, I'm very transparent. I want people to know. So go to my website. It'll show you everything there is to know.
And then to sign anything, are you going to be anywhere, like any events coming up to sign your...
Right now, you can go online and sign it, but I will have my Facebook. I have to go speak at the Tea Party coming up.
Okay.
You know, and then after that, hopefully the Yuma Valley Rod and Gun Club.
All right.
You know, so those are things that I've got planned up, and just waiting still on a couple answers to make sure that.
Well, very cool. Thank you so much for being with us. I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. And with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios at the Matador Activity Center at AWC. Want to thank Talon Gonzalez, Anthony Arnales, Juan Garcia, and Dave Reek. You can find out more about KAWC at kawc.org, on Facebook at KAWC Radio, and on the KAWC app. Stay tuned following our program for KOFA Midday Music. On tomorrow's program, we're going to have a special guest hooked up by Scott Gross right over here. Find out who that's going to be. And you can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/What's Up Yuma Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Broadcasting from Yuma campus of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years, this is Border Radio, 94.7 FM, KOFA Yuma. We also broadcast at 1320 a.m. in Yuma, at kawc.org, and on the KOFA app.
The Yuma County Library District provides activities and resources at its branches for people of all ages. Events include story time, citizenship classes, bilingual programs, crafts, author talks, and more. For more information about the activities and calendar of events, plus other in-person and online resources, visit yumalibrary.org.